Paul, first of all, congratulations on another super LP from the Beatles. What were your own favourite numbers? Which were you particularly satisfied yourself on this LP? Which ones stand out?
Well, I like Come Together. That's a great one, which is John's one. Yeah. I like Something, George writes. I think it's, for me, I think it's the best he's written. And I like Because on the second side.
Why did you use the lyric "Turn Me On" and "Blow My Mind" in that particular song? I rather felt that sounded a bit passé in 1969 because it's been used so much in the past.
Yes, well, they were John's lyrics. But I think, if they'd have been straight, so I'm not taking any blame, but no. If they'd have been used just straight, if it had been "You turn me on, you blow my mind," okay, that would have been passé. But to say that because the world is round, it turns me on, it's great.
Yes,
it's like, well, it's not fantastic, but it's as good as
that's
good enough for me, And because the wind is high, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's much better than "You blow my mind, baby, honey bunch." I like all the others. I think there's not a bad track on it, but my favourites are those ones, and then the long one.
Oh yeah.
The whole of the long one,
Yeah.
the whole of the end bit. I think that works good.
I think a lot of people might be surprised that you sort of dared to take Golden Slumbers, the well-known lullaby, and give it a new variation. I enjoyed it very much, but what made you decide to do that? Because the Beatles have never done that before, have they?
No.
Taken another tune or lyrics?
No. Well, I'll tell you, I was just playing the piano in Liverpool, my dad's house, and my sister Ruth's piano book, she was learning piano, and those sort of, do you ken John Peel?
Yeah.
And Golden Slumbers and your old
Yes,
favourites, was up on the thing, this stand, there was a little book with all those words in it and stuff. So I was just flicking through it and I came to Golden Slumbers, So I just started, because I can't read music, so I didn't know the tune. I can't remember the old tune, So I started just playing my tune to it. And then I liked the words, so I just kept that, and then it fitted with another bit of song I had, which is the verse in between it, so I just made that into a song. It just happened because I was reading their book.
And what about the reference to the Queen? What made you put that on the LP? That's caused a lot of surprises. Very nice, but it was, a lot of people didn't know it was there.
I saw your column in the daily newspaper.
I wish I could have got a hold of you.
That was just, I don't know, I was in Scotland, and I was just writing this little tune. I can never tell, like, how tunes come out. I just wrote it as a joke,
Has the Queen or any member of the royal family ever discussed your music with you? Do they ever, when you...
No, the only thing I ever talked, the only time I ever talked to a member of the royal family, really, was with the Queen Mother, when she, on a variety performance thing, and she just said, where are you playing tomorrow night? It wasn't exactly about music. Where are you playing tomorrow night? And I think I said, or one of us said, Slough, and she said, oh, that's just near us.
I understand Princess Anne goes out and buys your records.
Apparently, I know we did autographs once, a couple of years ago. I think they were for Prince Charles and Princess Anne. So,
what do you think of the monarchy today?
I don't really think about it.
I
like that film.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that film, and I don't know. It doesn't interest me one way or the other. I think they're nice people.
Mm.
They seem all right, and they looked, Queen tells a good joke, as she did in that film. They're good.
When you had your MBEs, how did it strike you then? Do you think they've changed very much since those days?
The family.
The image. Do you think the image is better?
Yeah, obviously, it's got a bit more of the people. They've got a bit more sort of down to earth. Yeah, when we got the MBEs, I sort of really believed, having been brought up in it, the whole thing of, Her Majesty and all that stuff, which is great. I thought, well, it's a great honour,
yes,
getting an
course,
MBE, obviously.
Yes.
When we went to the palace and lined up with the other 5 million people who were getting it, and then after you've been presented, you sort of go to the other end of the corridor and they give you this little medal. You do sort of think, well, it's not like you imagined it, like I suppose in your dreams you'd have this great sort of, You know, the Queen sits there with her great flowing robes and puts her sword on your shoulder and stuff. Well, you know, in fact, they just give you a medal. And the
Yes.
medal sort of says, thanks from us. But apparently Harold Wilson really gives you it. Apparently he decides who gets them. So I don't know, you know.
But you wouldn't do a royal variety show, would you?
Only reason we didn't want to do royal variety shows after a bit is that we did one, and it went down great. And the only reason we didn't really want to do it the next year is that you go and do it again and say it doesn't go down quite as well, then it's just you're trying to repeat yourself, you know, and someone says, well, last year they were sensational with Rattle Your Jewels, and, oh, what a great show, you know. This year, no laughs this year, say, or... That was the only reason, really. There's no sort of thing about we won't do a royal variety. It's just, you know, it could have been any other show. We wouldn't try and repeat our success, say, at Shea Stadium. You know, once you reach the peak of a thing, you know, there's no point in doing it twice.
Yes.
Unless you really intend to sort of go on and make that your thing, to keep going on royal varieties. But we felt we'd done it once, and that was enough.
What are the trappings of being Paul McCartney, Beatle, Paul?
Lack of privacy. That's the trapping.
That's the main thing that
it bothers me.
You.
Yeah, sure it does. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, I like it when we're working or when I come to Apple or something. I expect to do autographs and just to perform. In fact, because you have to switch on a bit. You know. But I also love to switch off, you know, like anyone. You come home after a hard day's work and you want to switch off. But sometimes there's still people outside the house, and I sort of say, well, you know, can you leave us alone now? Because, like, we just had a baby, you know, give us a bit of a chance, you know.
How is the baby?
Sometimes, she's fantastic, yeah, she's beautiful. She's about the best-looking baby I've ever seen. Yeah. Nicest, just started on cereal, took every drop. For all the mothers and fathers listening.
And are we going to have a Mary song?
I don't know.
Soon?
I don't know. We did a song which has the Mary in it, but it's not. It was written before she was born.
I see.
So I mean, I suppose she's already immortalised in song.
Do you plan to have more? Do you want a large family?
Oh yeah, as
Would
many.
you like to have a son?
As many as, I don't know, yeah, I'd like to have anything, you know. I love kids, you know. Yeah. They're great. We've got 2 now, which is like instant family.
Yes.
And it's great, you know, it's lovely, because I love them both.
Do you feel a different person through marriage? I mean, do you feel sort of mature?
Yeah, well, I've never had a kid before, so that you can't help but feel different.
In what way?
It takes a bit of time to click.
Yeah.
I mean, it still hasn't really clicked that we've got a new daughter, you know.
Yes.
It takes a bit of time. I feel different, yeah. I don't feel any sort of steadier than I ever felt, you know. I'm waiting for me to settle down. I don't, you know.
Do you find it terribly difficult to choose your friends? Because I would think in your position it must be awfully difficult. The people that probably would be nicer, you know, wouldn't sort of come and say hello to you and get to know you. One feels that you might be getting surrounded by a lot of the wrong people.
Yeah, I think
because
that
they've
happens.
got the cheek to, you know, get to know you.
That happens, but generally the ones who are friends choose themselves, you know. It just seems to happen. You know, you don't sort of go out and say, I'll have you for my friend. You do get a few hangers on, of course, but they fall away.
You've got your eyes open to that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they can't stick if they're only hangers on. You know, it's funny, it's like water of a duck's back, you know, they try and get on, but they roll off.
Did you ever have any complexes about this, you know, people wanting to know you?
Not really,
what
you know.
represent?
No, I mean, that wouldn't worry me, you know. I mean, I accept that some people want an autograph. Some people want money, some people want you to do them a favour and stuff. But, you know, there's always that. Okay, we get it magnified because we're us. But we the Beatles, not the royal we. You know, it gets magnified, but everyone gets that. You know, there's always someone who's got an uncle or something who wants a few bob, but he suddenly becomes the uncle you're not talking to, or the one you're not really friends with.
Yes. What about the image of the Beatles? Now, there's no doubt that the older generation, who have been very for you, a lot of them have sort of started saying things like, "Oh, they're not like they used to be. What are they doing? You know, all this hair and they're not
It's
so
true,
snappily dressed." Does this disturb you?
No.
That you might lose some of your old.
See, the thing is, you grow up. Everyone grows up, and it is always a great pity to see a baby turn into an adult, because it's always more nicer when they're a baby and they go goo and they do everything you want. It's lovely. And in a certain period in our career, we did. We were sort of particularly nice. We had like a very all-round appeal. It wasn't put on. We were more like that. But as we've grown up, you become more individual. And so, like, for instance, if you don't want a press interview, like these days, we don't have to say yes. We're more true to ourselves these days, and it obviously doesn't please some people, but I think you find like a lot of other people like us for it. I tell you what happened. Once in the old days, we used to wear leather jackets. We used to wear leather suits a lot, and we changed. Brian said, "Look, lads, smarten up a bit, get yourselves suits." So we got suits and ties and stuff, and we went on like that. We gained a whole new audience and lost all the people who wanted us in leather.
Oh, I see.
See, so this is happening again. I think it always will happen, that, where we'll lose all the people who wanted us to be just 4 nice, clean-cut lads, and who didn't want us to grow beards.
Yes.
And we'll gain all the people who don't care whether we got beards or what, because they're out for us.
Yes.
Not for what we look like or how nicely we speak,
Yes.
Just they're out for us being truthful to ourselves. That's what they're interested in.
How much interest and how much control do you have over Apple now that you have a new manager in Mr. Klein?
Are you
like
the
a
4 of us have? No, I don't like doing the business bit that much, but you can't avoid it. See, the thing is, we were once a band, just a band. But then, because we were successful, you can't help it being successful. Money comes in. You can't help that again. When money comes in, income tax has to be paid. So you can't really help just turning into a businessman, because someone says to you, "Well, where's your income tax, mate?" You say, "Well, I better get on to someone. I hope I've got a bit to pay you and stuff." So you've got to get all that together. So it's just force of circumstance. You can't help it.
Paul, what about the future of the Beatles? I happen to know that the organisers of the Isle of Wight Pop Festival are going to ask you and the rest of the Beatles if you will top the bill next year at the Isle of Wight. Now, what's your reaction to a thing like that? Are you likely to go back on stage and perhaps do a show like that?
I don't know,
Does it appeal?
I don't know, I've never known. I didn't know that when we were playing at the Cavern that we'd be on the Royal Variety performance. And after that, all the papers said, "Well, what's left for them?" So then we went to America. They said, "What's left for them then?" Then we got into making better albums and stuff. I just don't know what's going to happen. It'll be all right, though.